everybody, and welcome back to my channel for this Monday morning, afternoon or evening across the world where you may be at. And today I'm going to be talking about the blue/teal controversial pumpkins and pumpkin buckets, as Halloween is fastly approaching around the corner here in the UK and across the world. And as a legally disabled autistic adult, I want to talk about this. It has caused a lot of controversy. There is a lot of controversy surrounding these blue pumpkin, teal pumpkin buckets. And as an autistic woman, I thought it was important to bring you the news about it. So I'm going to be talking from the BBC article that I found here from 2019. So it says, BBC News, what does a blue pumpkin signify? Halloween time is a time to get dressed up as something scary, and of course for children it's all about the trick or treating. But if someone came to your door with a blue pumpkin, would you know what it means? Some parents want to spread awareness of autism by turning their pumpkins blue or having blue plastic pumpkin containers. The idea is it signifies that a person trick or treating might have some specific needs. According to the NHS here in the UK, people with autism can experience problems with social interaction and communication. The blue pumpkins are well known in the USA, but they are growing in popularity, with some high street stores starting to sell them. There are also the teal pumpkins, which indicate food allergies, so instead of sweets or food, children are given glow sticks or other items. The National Autistic Society says there are things everyone can do to be mindful. Some trick-or-treaters could be autistic. Tom Purse, the head of the campaigns at the National Autistic Society, said Halloween is an exciting time of year for many autistic children and adults, but it can be really difficult for autistic people who struggle with unexpected changes or who have sensitivities to noise, touch and light. And then it gives you some tips about how to support your autistic loved ones. And then I'm going to read another article from the Today USA website. It says, what do blue candy buckets on Halloween mean and why are they so controversial? Nobody should have to disclose the diagnosis in exchange for kindness, which I totally agree with the headline and the slogan of the message of it. And it says, blue Halloween candy buckets have become a way to signal that a trick-or-treater has autism, inspired by one mum's viral post, but they're also so very controversial. Blue buckets are meant for kids with autism that cannot communicate with others, so if someone knocks and doesn't say trick or treat, don't take it them as they're being rude or weird, reads one Facebook post that's been shared many times, showing image of text over a big store bucket of blue jack-o'-lantern buckets. They deserve to enjoy Halloween like everyone else. Others say the trend is well-meaning, but it is still harmful. Nobody should have to disclose their diagnosis in exchange for kindness. Why are the blue buckets so controversial? Some parents might see the blue bucket as a way to help kids. Xaviera wrote in her post, I know that many people who alert me to the idea did so with good intentions. Our society has become more aware of autism, yes, more open to inclusion, and my kids will benefit from that. But they shouldn't also have to tell a stranger they have autism just to get some chocolates. Xaviera said she understands all too well how Halloween can be challenging when your child has autism. Yes, it's gotten a little better each year, but when the boys were toddlers, I would describe Halloween as dumpster fire. She told Today.com Halloween is overstimulating, especially if a child can't visualise or verbalise how they feel, or having a sensory reaction to their costume, isn't being used to being out late at night or with lots of people. Some people would stare at my children if they didn't say the trick or treat words. Although Xaviera prepared her sons to what to expect on Halloween, i.e. don't walk into the homes of people handing out candy, the night didn't always go smoothly. During the early years there was lots of crying and screaming and not collecting much candy, she said. Xaviera is happy to educate those curious about her children's behaviour, but they certainly won't be carrying blue buckets on Halloween. Kids deserve to go trick-or-treating, and adults, I want to add into this, without a symbol that says I'm different, because we already live this every day. It should be about individual choice. Absolutely right. Of course it should be about individual choice. I can't agree more on that. According to Kerry McGrew, who's a public speaker and activist who was diagnosed with autism at age 2, using a blue Halloween bucket should be a family's individual choice based on the child's needs or desires. Again, adult who may be on the severe end of the spectrum, who can't communicate, may use that and find that useful. It's ideal to give the individual an opportunity to choose whether or not they want to use the blue buckets, and the parents or caregivers should validate that decision. There is a concern with unintentionally stigmatising children or adults with autism, confusing the colour blue with the teal. He says the teal symbolises food allergy awareness. And then it goes on to say about Halloween being scary. Then McGrew says there's an alternative families who want to communicate their child's needs or challenges more directly. There is such things such as trick-or-treat bags that read, "I have autism and don't speak, but I would still like candy." So again, there is little things like that you could purchase, and I think from my own autistic perspective, I realise that parents may do it with good intentions to try and help their children or try to help them feel less overwhelmed, less overstimulated. But for me personally, the blue bucket is not practical. You are stigmatising them, you are isolating them, you are making the disability, oh, look at my child, look at this adult, oh, they're different, they don't communicate right, they're a bit different, they're weird, they're odd, they're needing special help. And that's really damaging to their self-esteem, that's really damaging to their confidence, that's really damaging to their person, because you're putting that label on them, you're putting that stereotype on them. And for many autistic people, we just want to be accepted. We don't want to have to carry a blue bucket or a teal bucket or a green bucket or an orange bucket. Or it shouldn't be about what colour the bucket is to understand our needs. It should be about just giving us more time of how to process, how to talk to each other. It should be about understanding that your child or young adult or older adult for that matter is different, that they don't have a choice of being autistic. They need that support, they need that love, that direction, that guidance. And these blue teal buckets, I think, are a big red flag. I think we shouldn't be making it so that a minority group is even more made a minority, and the struggles we have are real. The lack of confidence is real, the constant fight to be accepted is real, and I really don't think that this is going to help matters. I think it's going to make matters worse with regards to having to fit in a world that doesn't want us already. And the fact that using these blue buckets are kind of like, well, oh, this person's a bit different, avoid them. And oh, this person's a bit different, they might not be able to say trick or treat, or they may try and use autism as an excuse with this special bucket, and it annoys me because again it comes down to having special needs or special differences or different sensory processes or sensory behaviours, and that really does irritate me, because as an autistic adult, as someone on the autistic spectrum myself, we shouldn't have to have this constant fight of being labelled and isolated and made judgments of because we may need different help, or some adults may choose to carry these blue or teal buckets, which is fine. It's individual choice. But again, I think the UK needs to be very careful, because that is where, for me, it comes into kind of bullying and mocking and making fun of people on the spectrum, because this bucket is like saying, well, I can't carry an orange one like you, or I can't carry a black one like you, or I can't carry a certain colour bucket because I have to be the different one, or I have to be the one that has this bright blue, frightening, spooky looking bucket, which again is very scary. And I don't agree with blue in general is the colour of the awful autism charity Autism Speaks. I don't think we should be using blue as a colour to defend that charity, because it is awful. I will link some resources in the description to tell you why, but I hope that this kind of video has helped you understand why we should not use the blue or teal buckets. I understand that the teal bucket is for food allergies mainly, so I understand why that's important in some aspects, but please do not get the blue or teal buckets confused. I will link all the articles that I've mentioned down below in the video description, and I will see you on the next one. Bye guys.